Hey, 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 hey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We in this thing. My boy is back, man. I couldn't be more excited.
Yes,
And what better night
sir.
to have my boy back? Chaz is here. So much to get into. LeBron James with another triple double. THT comes out of nowhere and does his thing. Kuzma is playing defense and rebounding out of his mind at some weird moments. This is a fantastic night, man. Chaz, it's good to have you back. The people have missed you. And so we're about to
I
jump
miss
into
y'all.
it.
Miss
Listen,
y'all.
man. Okay, so I mean, there's obviously we want to catch up on some of the stuff that we haven't had a chance to talk about before the Lakers came home 5-2 road trip, and then coming home to where they typically have been a 500 team, and it looked like they were about to be sub 500 with this game, and then the third quarter happened, and it was a wrap from there. So, what did you see? What did you like? And then what didn't you like?
I just flipped the switch. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That was
baby.
the third quarter, man. That was the third quarter. The Lakers just flipped the switch at halftime. I don't know what Vogel said to him. I don't know what Handy said to him. I don't know what Brian said to him. But they turned it up in that third quarter. They won that third quarter by 20 points, 37-17. And the Lakers went on a 15-0 run. Big
Jesus,
part of that was THT and Kuz. I love their defensive effort. Uh, Schroeder's effort with the double dive play
come on.
was absolutely amazing. And just the fact that Caruso didn't have any points nor finish the game, but the Lakers still won by 21 points. So they did their thing. It really wasn't even that close, especially late in the game in the fourth quarter. I have no idea what's going on with AD. Me and you talked off air. He might actually be injured, but somehow was a plus 21 tonight with 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Somehow, if this is the injured AD, I'll take it. And that's at this point what we have to speculate on because he just isn't himself. Either something's going on with him personally that's, clogging up his mental, or he might actually be, injured a lot worse than what the injury report may have to show for it. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's why you have LeBron James scoring 27, 10. Did he have a triple double? I thought he exited the game. I'm looking at a
LeBron?
box score that shows him with a triple double
Braun
tonight,
has a triple. He had
27,
a
10,
triple
and
double,
10.
and
He
his
did.
last, yeah, and his assist went to THT on that cut underneath the basket for the 10th assist.
Okay. So he did get that last assist. I thought he ended the game without that. But man, the fact that he's putting up numbers 30, 10, and 10 at 36 years old, 35 minutes a game. I mean, like he played tonight, it's absolutely out of this world. So, and then when you get games like THT and Kuz and Trez had a really big game, a great game defensively,
Yeah,
nonetheless, especially
yeah.
against Jokic, held his own, had a few blocks, did his thing in the paint, and used 4 of his fouls.
There we go.
Made sure that Jermichael Green and Jokic and all those guys felt him on the inside. So, it's a good game when you see a Bol sighting, right? Bol not playing if the Nuggets are up by that much, and
Yeah,
the Nuggets aren't going to blow out the Lakers, but
yeah,
are they capable of beating the Lakers? Absolutely, but
yeah.
I don't think if Jokic is their best player, they'll never beat the Lakers
No.
because AD will just neutralizes them. He
Yeah,
just does.
yeah.
He swallows them up every time. And Jokic has been averaging 27 and 12 this season. He only had 13 and 10 tonight. So
Wow,
it is what it is.
wow. Yeah, tonight was. I mean, as far as AD and Jokic, they pretty much canceled each other out. And when we get to these moments, man, where you have people like Jamal Murray or maybe like Barton and certain people who just kind of get it going every now and again. And then you look at our side, and then you just no matter who's getting it going on our side, the one thing that no team can say is we have LeBron James, bro. Like I don't think people understand what LeBron did tonight with the passes that he made. You're not gonna find that nowhere.
That dart to Trez down. Ooh,
I'm
that
just
dart.
Which leads me to my question, man. We haven't had a chance to get into this, but as far as I'm concerned, LeBron James is the MVP. And I know
He's the
people are
runaway.
he gotta be. And I know people are talking about points and there's Durant talk and then to be honest, there's talk about Joel Embiid and even Jokic even popped up in a couple of weird moments where people are like, well, he's great. But nobody is doing forget the age. I mean, that you just throw that out the window for right now. Just what LeBron is doing with his assist and the way he takes over games and the way he's shooting from three and his inability to be stopped getting to the cup. The Los Angeles Lakers have the best player in the league. I don't care about Joel Embiid averaging 40 points. He cannot make the rest of the team better. You know who makes THT? Do you think THT would have this kind of opportunity on the Sixers? Do you think there's somebody who could feed him the rock to get him 17 points the way LeBron gave it to him tonight?
No, even though THT is pretty good in the pick and roll game, he got some skills, he got some moves in that P&R. But nonetheless, LeBron James is feeding him the ball, and LeBron James is pretty much orchestrating everything. It's like he's on autopilot right now. It doesn't even really look like he's trying that hard. It's like he like on that last lob to AD before he came out of the game. It's like muscle memory. He doesn't even really have to think about it. It's like, okay, if you're coming in on me, I got to lob it up. If you don't, I'm going to turn around baseline for this fade that I already hit you guys with a couple times earlier in the game. So he's like on autopilot. And the fact that he's playing the way that he has through the first 20 games of the season, it's LeBron James is hands down the MVP. It's not even close. Close. You might be able to throw in Embiid because Embiid has played that good, right?
Yeah.
He just has. But at some point in the season, it's a 72-game season, not a 20-game season. At some point, Philly going to go on one of those losing streaks like they always do, regardless of when it may be. Maybe when they come on that West Coast road trip. Whenever Philly does that West Coast roadie for 5 games, 6 games, whenever it is, they always they can never get above 500 on those roadies, I feel like. So, I mean, somebody pull up the stats and prove me otherwise, but I'm waiting for that 3-4 game, lose 4 out of 5, 6 out of 7, some type of deal for Philly at some point. So LeBron James will be the runaway MVP, in my opinion, especially with this firepower that the Lakers have, because the Lakers aren't going to fall out of the top 1 or 2 seeds at the end of the season. They're just not.
No, and this is the frustrating thing that we've kind of talked about just even in previous post games, is that it's not even that if the Lakers lose, and we have multiple times, obviously, it's not that when we lose, we are the lesser team. It's that we know we're the better team, and they just don't play up to par. And so we saw tonight, if the first half they don't play up to par, the minute they flip that switch, that team could have a 12-point lead, a 15-point lead, and that thing can be minimized in a matter of a minute, 2 minutes. Because that's how good this team is, man. Like I know there's been a lot of talk about trades and stuff, and of course, big man, and we're going to get into that at some point. But as currently constructed, this team has the firepower to go crazy, and I think part of it is because of this kid right here, Talen Horton-Tucker. This dude had 17 points tonight in 22 minutes, and once again, it wasn't even like it almost feels like Talen's confidence carries him to the basket more than his athletic ability. Sometimes he put one dude on skates and got to the cup. On like point like 13 or 14 or somewhere, and it just looked like he was just playing in the G League again. It was like we were watching G League highlights, and he's playing in the NBA. And you call me crazy, and I know they've said this before. Somebody said this on a podcast, but I feel like he will be a starter probably next season. I wouldn't doubt him being a starter next season or the season after that.
Maybe not. I mean, it depends on how he plays in his first playoffs, as far as real rotation minutes. That's really what it depends on. But yeah, it's not crazy. He's literally playing Wesley Matthews and Markieff Morris out of the lineup. Literally.
Ouch.
Out of the lineup.
And apparently,
I mean, Keith might be for matchup purposes, obviously, but he's clearly playing Wesley Matthews out of the lineup, especially in these last few games. So it's a long season. And 20 games, in the first 20 games of the season, we saw THT get DNP CDs quite a few times, and now he's playing Wesley Matthews out of the lineup. Like, it's a long season, man, so we'll see what happens.
And not just Wesley Matthews. I think the biggest part that stood out to me is we've known Caruso to be the closer in the closing lineup. And obviously it wasn't, I don't think it was a shade to Caruso or anything that he did wrong, but THT was just playing too well. And I think even Caruso saw that. But not seeing Caruso in the finishing lineup, but seeing THT in that, part of it may have been the score and that we already had a lead and it was safe to keep him in. But for the most part, watching that's what it was probably, yeah. But just even seeing the possibilities of that ending squad, that ending rotation with LeBron, with a THT, with a Trez, with an AD, just watching that was like, man, that just shows you another versatile perspective of this team. That's scary when you think about the playoffs. Real scary. That means you could have any kind of situation and you have the rotation men to throw in there. and you can make it work, and it could be a death lineup no matter how you put it up.
No matter how you put it up, THT literally, like I said, is playing Wesley Matthews out of the lineup. But the reason why Caruso, when it's a possession by possession game like that Boston game, there's no way Caruso's not in the game, because you saw at the end of that Boston game why Caruso's in the game.
Yeah.
When it's a possession, one possession, two possession game. Yeah. The reason why THT finished tonight is because they played so well down the stretch, and pretty much all they were up by 25 when THT had that last dunk.
That's crazy.
Right? They were up 25 and ended up winning by 21. They could have been up by almost 30. So that's the reason why THT finished the game. And I mean, he's young. He can pretty much play 30, however many minutes is needed. So,
yep.
But what I'm most impressed about isn't just THT. It's Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma has been doing his thing. It's not all about scoring, guys. Kyle Kuzma is making play after play. You saw the play where I don't know if he turned the ball over or he was part of the turnover play, but he hustled his butt back on defense and blocked Michael Porter Jr.'s that chase down. He blocked the three. He's taking charges. He's making the extra pass. He's getting rebounds. That block that he had on, I think, Jamal Murray it was.
Yep.
He's just doing it all, and he's earning his $12 million, and he's not even making that much this year. He's making making 3.6 and 3.7. His extension doesn't kick in until next year, and he's already playing like a $15 million player a year. So
that's crazy.
How's that for value?
And this is why at the beginning of the season, I'm about to get into these comments because there's so many things people want to talk about. But this is why when everybody was talking about trade Kuz in the first 7 games, he's a bum, he's inconsistent. And I kept trying to drive home the point, man. This he's finding his place. And once we identified that rebounding and defense was going to become kind of the premium and primary thing, and still hitting threes like he did tonight, 2 of 5 from 3, scoring 11 points tonight, him being able to do those things just adds a different dimension not only to his game, but that second unit. And we won this game because of that second unit. Trez, Kuz, even at points Caruso, even though he didn't score, THT. That second unit is the reason why the Lakers really won this game. Throwing in LeBron with that second unit just transformed the game all the way. And I think, just when you look at it, you look at Kuzma has been the most consistent person over the years as far as growth and versatility. He's had to shift his position as a player every season. So he was a shooter when he first got here. Then LeBron gets here. He has to learn how to play off ball and be the cutter. And now he has AD here, and now he's trying to learn how to play defense and rebound. You're seeing different areas of growth, and he showed it tonight, man. That hustle play at the end was just so incredible, man. Here's some of the David said, win. Absolutely. Al Sanchez says, what's up? Of course, Nabil Bordet talks about the Kuzma block. Lakers Daily Dope on YouTube says, yo, THT played great. Now, here goes the first commentary that I want to throw your way. Dylan Schuler on Periscope says, Lakers match up with the Nets well. Can throw a lot of guys at KD, Harden, Kyrie. An example with Caruso, KCP, and THT. So this is what I think everybody is anticipating. It's looking like, or people are anticipating, a Nets-Lakers finals. I personally don't think the Nets are going to make it out of the playoffs. That's just me. But
out of the East, you mean?
Out of the East, yeah. I don't think they're going to make it out of the East. But when you look at that, at a potent offense like you have with the Nets, who obviously have a different dimension, they don't have a Jokic or a big man, so we could exploit that. That works in our favor. But how do we stack up?
They're going to get one. We're only 20 games into the season, so they're going to get one. Whether it be JaVale McGee or, any of these other guys that they're thinking about trading for, or Andre Drummond that they've talked about, hopefully, him getting bought out. I mean, they're going to get somebody on the buyout market or in the trade market. I don't think the Nets are a finished product. I don't think the Lakers are a finished product. It's very clear that Marc Gasol on certain nights is just clearly a liability more than he is an asset. So,
agreed.
Like nights tonight, Marc Gasol had 2 points, 2 rebounds, was a +2, 4 fouls, 20 minutes, clogging up space, doing nothing. So, and you're just going to have those games from him. You just are. But you needed a big body against Jokic. All you got is AD and Trez. AD not playing like he normally does, even though he did play good defense on Jokic tonight. But for Gasol, man, we clearly need another man. And for the Nets, look, we could beat the Nets, but it's not going to be easy, even as presently constructed. Because look, at the end of the day, talent is talent, and a possession game is a possession game. And I get they don't play defense, but they can score at will. They have the most dynamic offense I've ever seen, even more than the Heatles of 2012, 2013, and those times.
Agreed.
I could easily see Kyrie, Harden, and KD absolutely cooking Kuzma, Pope, THT, Caruso, and we've already seen KD cook Bron in the finals. So, I mean, look, I'm a Laker fan through and through. I got purple and gold running through my veins, but I ain't no idiot. So,
we
know the game. So I'm not gonna put it past. I'm not gonna put it past the Nets to be competitive and maybe even beat us once or twice in a 7-game series. But let's not get it twisted. It's still gonna be a tough series, even as presently constructed, and if they don't have a big man, which they don't currently, but they'll get one, and so will we. So that might even cancel each other out as well. But we'll see, man. It's an interesting matchup that I'd like to see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting all the way. That would be a finals for us to talk about for real. Jay said they flipped the switch, everybody, and from the 5-minute mark on, 17-2 to close the quarter. Nighthawk Gang said, "Can we talk about Mark?" Yeah, and we talked about this, and you just said it. Marc Gasol is going to have games where he's great, and games where he fits, and games where he doesn't fit, and you're going to see a lot of games where he doesn't fit. Tonight, he kind of ate up space. You know what I mean? Bothered, Jokic a little bit. Jokic only had 11 points.
Jokic was just going right around him in the post, man.
Yeah.
Marc Gasol was making Jokic look like Dwight Howard in the post, dog. Like, it was crazy in the first half. I was like, man, like, can you get some kind of stationary foundation and not let this guy just go right around you on the block? Like,
nope.
But hey,
nope.
It is what it is.
Okay.
I knew what we were getting when we got Gasol. So
yeah, and that's told everybody, man. Your expectations were probably in the wrong space. Marquis Smith says, "Yeah, a brother was worried, man. He said I was worried. Something is going on with AD. Looks lethargic and can't turn it on." So I ask you every single time. I'm surprised I didn't text you this time. But was there any point did you feel like, okay, the Lakers could probably lose this one?
Oh yeah, I was definitely pressed in the second quarter, like big time.
Okay,
big time. Losing that second quarter 28-19, going down at halftime by 12, 14 points, definitely worried because AD wasn't looking like he was picking it up, and we weren't seeing the defense that we should normally see. But they came out in that second half and went on a 5-0, should have been a 6-0 run to start the third quarter, and they gave up a couple easy baskets, then they went on that 15-0 run at some point in the third, and the most of that run was without AD on the floor. When AD was coming back in the game, I was like, man, sit him down, man. Like, we don't need him tonight.
Yeah.
Sit him down. Trez is doing his thing. Bron feeding everybody. THT taking all Caruso, Matthews, and Keith's minutes. It was a wonderful night.
It was a wonderful night. Caruso did end with a -2 in the plus-minus category, but I don't think it really mattered as much considering how the lineups were playing. Irvin Taylor says he was glad that we played the way we did in the second half. Here's a question. What do we make of the Matthews-Morris DNP? Is this, from what we were discussing last post-game, people were saying that it's because they just played so bad and that, they have to earn their way back into the lineup. I feel like it's much more of a coaching matchup thing.
No, exactly. The same reason we going to treat these TNP CDs just like THT's DNP CDs. When you that deep, everybody can't play 12, 15, 20 minutes a game. You just can't. There's only so many minutes you could divvy up in a 48-minute basketball game. So somebody's not going to play at some point. And based on matchups, who's playing, who's not, who's been trending up and down, a lot of these players, they're like stocks, man. You got to trend up, you got to trend down. So, and right now, Keith and Matthews are trending down.
They are.
And THT on the way up, all the way up.
Frank Vogel said he got into the players a lot at halftime. Not happy with the effort, especially defensively. That changed
There
in
you
the
go.
second half. Vogel said the defensive energy creates the pace of the offensive side of the ball. We were aggressive and assertive, attacking the rim.
I'm tired of y'all talking about Kuz because Kuz was given some praise by Frank Vogel just now. He's at peace with what's being asked of him. He's going out there and killing it straight
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Playing like a
yeah.
$15 million player, making $12 million a year next year, 3.6 this year. I'll at your boy.
Yeah, man. Kuz has earned his extension, earned his spot, and I believe he's going to get even better as the season progresses, and he gets not just comfortable, but he starts to thrive in that role. He's still an offensive threat, and I know teams know that because he can still hit a three. He doesn't, and it's not just like sometimes you leave him open, he's going to hit that three. So I love that, and then we haven't even talked about his ability to cut to the basket and things like that, which have not been as utilized as it normally is. But once he gets to that space and that pace, man, it's going to be ridiculous. Vogel started the whole press conference tonight congratulating LeBron James on passing Wilt Chamberlain for third all-time in field goals made. LeBron now has moved up another notch.
Wilt Chamberneezy.
And I don't think you guys understand. If you ever just know the history of Wilt Chamberlain, for anybody to even get to that position to pass Wilt, it's just a crazy thought. But LeBron did that, and not only did he do that, LeBron also broke another record tonight with his 800th 25-plus point game. 63% of LeBron's career, 63% of the games he's played, he scored 25 points or more. And so tonight was the 800th, moving him to most all-time. So he broke two records tonight, and he didn't even have to play the entire fourth. It's amazing. Here's a great quote from...
By the way,
go ahead.
By the way, really quick, Wilt Chamberlain was a legend on and off the court. So
for more reasons than we can count. Frank Vogel on THT. This is a significant quote. Every test that we've given him, he's passed. He continues to play well and has earned a bigger role. I think.
Sorry, that answers your question.
There it is.
I'm sorry, Matthews. Morris will get some run because of his defense and his girth and his ability to guard the post. But Matthews, I'm sorry, dog. You do one thing and one thing only. You don't even defend at a high clip like that anymore. So
no.
That 21-year-old might got your spot.
And what's funny is that I know it's too early to talk about this, but that makes well, at least Morris, at least Matthews, a trade piece on a certain aspect. Just because he's not getting any run. This is very similar to what happened to Troy Daniels. Troy Daniels was able to hit threes and things like that, but couldn't defend well. And he sat the bench until he was ready to go. And when he left, he was gone.
I like that comparison.
Yeah.
Matthews making him a little bit more than the minimum, though. But
that's true. That's true.
Matthews isn't a guy that you trade for. Matthews is a guy that you pick up on the buyout market at this point. So
or you gets thrown into the deal to make money work,
or just gets thrown into a deal. But
yeah.
It's going to be. I don't see the Lakers making any major trade at all this year. So
you don't see it at all. You think this is going to be pretty much it, with the exception of buyout for a big man?
Exactly. I don't see any drastic moves. That they're playing at too high of a level. Okay.
Well, let me say this. Washington calls you up, says we want to give you Bradley Beal.
They're not going to call. No,
I'm giving you a hypothetical. What are you giving up for Bradley Beal?
Okay, so first of all, Washington doesn't make the call. It would be Rob Pelinka making the call after it being put out that Washington is officially taking offers.
Okay.
Which hasn't happened yet. I don't think Washington is taking offers. Bradley Beal even came out publicly. But let's say Rob Pelinka made the call and Wizards brass says yes. All right, we're willing to listen. What am I giving up? What's the offer?
What's the offer? And we're not calculating salary stuff so much right now. Just what are you willing to give up?
For Bradley Beal?
On this current roster that's getting ready that's championship aspirations. What are you giving up?
Kuzma, KCP, Caruso, Schroeder, Gasol. Take your pick. Everybody, take your pick. Everybody except for LeBron and AD is available. Now you can't have all of them, right? Like I may make 4 five players available, but you can only have three of them and some picks and some swaps. Like
Yeah, and
that kind of deal.
Would you do it? Would you pull the trigger on it?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because that not only for a multitude of reasons, but the first reason is it secures the future after LeBron.
You got a point.
Secondly, it extends LeBron's career even that much more than AD has already done in the last 2 years. So
okay.
And you can't put a value on that because you don't know what you're going to get from Kuzma, Caruso, and all these guys once LeBron isn't here, right? Like,
yeah.
Part of the reason why Showtime was Showtime in the '80s is because Magic was Magic, and he was making everybody look good, right? Giving everybody the ball in the right spaces. Michael Cooper was good, but Michael Cooper wasn't Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper wasn't
True.
Koopa Loop until Magic came along. So I'm just saying, Caruso's great. Caruso's good. So is THT. So is Kuzma. But how much better is LeBron making these guys look? So for me to secure the future and extend LeBron's future, I open up the whole chessboard.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
For Bradley Beal, I mean, and look, Bradley Beal's not even that alpha for me. He's not. Do I think Bradley Beal can be the best player on the championship team? He's more like a Jimmy Butler level for me, personally.
But just can score, actually, a much better offensive game than Jimmy.
He's a winner. He's a winner, though. At the end of the day, he's a winner. So, I'm not as high on Bradley Beal as some other guys will, and that's why if he does get traded, he's going to go somewhere else because people are going to be able to be willing to give up way more than the Lakers are willing to give up because the Lakers are already in a position they don't need Bradley Beal.
No,
Bradley Beal will be a luxury, not a necessity.
we need a big to be bought out. That's all I care about at this point. Oh, here we go. Derek and I hope I'm saying this right. Derek and Aneni on YouTube says Chaz, hook a brother up with that neck piece. Apparently, what you got right there, they want it. They want it.
Downtown Diamond District Jewelers like, yo, hustle, holla at me. I got Cubans on the low.
That's what's funny.
Go downtown. Go downtown, dog.
That's what he asked. He goes, Chaz, who's your jeweler? Yeah, if you don't know about downtown LA, bro, you missing out, man.
All I can say is 6th and Broadway downtown. Figure it out.
What's your boy's name? You can't give up the source.
6th and Broadway. Jacob, go see Jacob on 6th and Broadway.
Not the Jacob that I know of. The Jacob?
No, not the Jacob, but my boy Jacob.
I'm not talking about Jacob the jeweler. I'm talking about the Jacob on 6th and yeah.
6th and Broadway downtown.
Yeah, that's where I was going to get my wife's wedding ring.
Hey man, if we talking about the same spot, man.
Hey, go down the city. Hey, go down.
It's more where that came from.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate it, y'all.
I will take Tyson Chandler and a refurbished ray gun massager for Marc Gasol. Wow, you guys really don't like Marc. Y'all really
because he just misses wide open shots. That's the thing. Yeah. If you're not gonna have Dwight to man the paint, then you got to have Gasol in there that can't just be moved like that against Jokic. The reason why we have you is for players like Jokic and Embiid, and we played them in the last week, and guess who ate you up and put you in the spin cycle?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Not just one of them, both of them. So
both. I don't know about Tyson Chandler though. He ain't
not gonna be able to do it. So we're gonna need to get somebody on that buyout market because we tested him. We saw the test. He didn't pass. Straight up.
And that's all we have to see. I mean, it's the fruit of what he's given us. In a series against the Nets, you will need AD and Bron to guard two of those guys. AD's defense this is Chris Camello saying this. AD's defense was tremendous, but offensively was very atrocious.
Just out of sync.
That's what it
Is
really
what it is.
is.
He's in the paint for a 5 foot hook, and he's spinning the opposite way, throwing the ball out of bounds, trying to find a shooter in the corner, like just making silly plays, bouncing the ball off his knee, missing free throws back to back, not just splitting free throws, but like going 0 for 2 on each trip multiple times. I see him do it multiple times just in the last 5 days alone. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what's up with your boy. I hope he's not injured. I hope he's going through something personally rather than being injured.
exactly.
Obviously, you never know what's going on in somebody's mind, um, or it could be both, man. Yeah, like you
Yeah,
never
it
like
really could.
he might be injured and it might be messing with his mental at the same time, and that's why he can't. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but that this is our superstar. We're not winning a ring without him, so he got to get right at some point.
Let
He
me
might
give
be
you.
waiting for that All-Star break.
I was about to
He might
say.
be waiting for
I
that.
was going to give you my theory. I think my theory was after the All Star break, this dude is going to turn into a different animal, and that's just my thought. I have no rhyme or
I
reason.
hope I hope he doesn't start.
I
I
don't think
hope
he
some. I
will.
hope. I hope some way somehow he doesn't start. The votes are close as far as the fan voting. Obviously, you got the players and then you got the coaches as well. But I hope somehow he doesn't start and he comes off the bench in the All Star game and that fuels him. Hopefully, something like that.
From champion to backup All Star. That if that don't get you
Yeah.
going, brother.
AD, how
Um,
you gonna say that you want to be best in the world, but you coming off the bench in an All Star game? You're not even one of the 10 best players in the league. Come on, like that's you're not playing like it right now.
Yikes. Yikes. Think Dylan Truler says, I think AD is in his head. Remember, this was supposed to be his year to carry the team, but LBJ is. Probably just messes with his head. I think the only reason why LeBron is doing what he's doing is because AD's not doing what he's supposed to do. And LeBron is not one to let the ball drop for the sake of a point. I think I think he came into camp off. That's what I think.
I think LeBron is in better shape than he even thought that he would be at this age.
Say that.
And he
Say that.
and he's like, yo, like I could and I would step back for you, big dog, but I got this quick twitch back and I'm feeling it. I got my wine. Life is
Tequila.
good. I got this Los Lobos. I mean, he playing out of his mind right now.
He
He's a
is.
runaway MVP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All Black Everything, our newest addition to Showtime. Our boy says 70% in the second half and 80 only with 13. I ain't worried about the Nets, man. Lakers in 4. Great work, guys. Man, appreciate that. Probably wouldn't be in 4 if we were to sweep the Nets. I don't even know what that would even
Six
look
or
like.
seven. Six or
Yeah.
seven.
Yeah.
KD is good for 2 games by himself. We've seen it.
That's a different animal over there. But once again, KD can't pass like LeBron. This is the thing I'm trying to get people to understand, man. LeBron being able to hit logo threes and pass from the other side of the court one touch without a bounce is just you're just not going to find that. Like what we're seeing in LeBron, you're not going to see. There's no comp to him, even in high school. Zion is not the next LeBron. I don't care. You name a player. Kevin Durant is probably the only other player that I would say offensively affects the game the way LeBron does. LeBron just does it with 14 different arms. And pretty much KD does it because he can pull up from anywhere and he can get to the cup. But man, it's amazing time for the NBA right now. I'm so grateful we're back into a season. I don't think the All-Star game is a good idea. What are your thoughts on that, man, about having the All-Star game? Do you think that should have been happening or should have just bypassed that and let him have the break?
It's money.
That's true.
It's money. It's money that these owners need for the bottom line because they ain't got no fans. So, were they talking about having it in Vegas with fans or no?
No. Well, I've heard two different things. I've heard they would be limited fans and they would pick from certain cities like they're doing with the Super Bowl. But I don't even know how you would logistically make that work. And to be honest,
I
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
want to go.
I'm okay with it. I'm not swiping for the Fox. I'm not De'Aaron Fox thinking that it's I want to see an All-Star game. And if you got all these protocols and stuff, just wear a mask. Follow the protocol. If you look, I bet if he was an All-Star and he got invited to go play, he'd go play.
Ooh. Oops. Oops. Yikes. Jason Jeter on Periscope says, nightly obligatory message. Our bigs are awful and we need a big. Signed Dwayne Dedman. You're gonna hear that name until probably
You know what? Whatever.
until
At this
LeBron
point,
retires.
He might be better than Marc Gasol, man. At this point, so go ahead and sign him. I don't care. I'm tired of it.
Look what
Go
y'all
ahead
done
and
did to
sign
my
him.
boy. Look what y'all did to my boy
Go
Chaz,
ahead.
man. Look what y'all did
Go
to him,
ahead.
man. This dude has just said, "Go ahead and sign Dwayne Dedman," because y'all keep putting it in
Go
this
ahead.
chat. Every post game, y'all talk about Dwayne Dedman. Y'all probably
Y'all
couldn't
ain't
even
got no
identify
patience. Y'all
none.
ain't got no patience. This time last year, you had no idea that Markieff Morris was who was on the Detroit Pistons at the time was going to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers and hit 4 threes in a row in Game 2 of the Western Conference semis to take control of the series to go
Yeah.
ahead and close out the rest of that series in 5 games. You had no idea that that was going to happen, but guess what? It happened because we got him for free. Why? Because we trusted in Rob.
Hello.
Trust in Rob. Stop. Have some patience, y'all. I'm tired of this Dwayne Dedman talk. Just wait for somebody to get bought out.
Yeah, man.
Hold it down.
Little Benny Vert says we need Drummond. Now, I've been very vocal about my desire for Drummond. How realistic, if you were to put on a percentage scale, how realistic do you think it would be for us to get Drummond?
0%. There's not a chance in hell that we get Andre Drummond. Number one, we don't have the cap space. Number two, we don't need him. I mean, we could use him, but we don't need him. Like we could get by. We could figure it out, you know.
Okay.
But what we would have to give up to get him would just cost us too much because he only does one thing pretty much. He plays defense and he rebounds. That's about it, and cleans up the inside. He's like a Dwight. He's just like a better Dwight or a more efficient Dwight at this point. So
I'm saying, man, he put up 30 points and 23 rebounds one game, brother. That was just a couple games ago.
Against who though? Charlotte? Like, I'm just look. I mean, no disrespect, but yeah, he's a good talent. But I'm just saying, like, cost versus benefit.
I hear you, man. Freddie Martinez says, salute to you guys, man. This post-game show is always good. Appreciate that love, fam.
Yeah, dog, when I'm not working and I can actually make the show, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me just come by and just give my personal apologies, man. There's some stuff happening right now, and I'm not able to make as many post-game shows as I would like. But when I am able to make it, I appreciate y'all for having me on, and we're gonna keep it rolling from there.
We're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep. I'm listening, and we're gonna be here whenever you can get here, brother. We appreciate it. New Wins Order says go get Hassan Whiteside.
No, there's a reason why. God, I saw that man on a pick and roll stand at the free throw line when Steph Curry is coming around a curl. Stand at the free throw line on Steph Curry. I want no parts of Hassan Whiteside on the defensive end or as a cancer in my locker room whatsoever.
I agree, man.
Give me Dwayne Dedman.
Okay, now
instead.
Now you're going someplace. I don't know how I feel about that. I'd rather have a missing spot. I'd rather go 4 and 5 at this point. Blake Sinclair, my boy, he's been saying it all year. Gasol is not the 5 the team needs. Gasol, West, and Morris. Yeah, they better find their identity in this squad soon, or they will be moved ASAP. But like you said you don't anticipate really there being any major trades. Obviously, that could change depending on how the market shifts or rumors get going. But yeah, it's very possible that we'll have. Now, this is actually a good problem. I just wanted to say this. Even if you moved West and Morris to the end of the bench and they just rode with the Quinn Cooks and the McKinneys, just knowing that's the end of your bench is still better than most people at the end of their bench, right? Like I would pick Morris.
Most definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Morris can still find his way and get it going. I think the biggest thing that we have to contribute to this is the fact that they are using these games as practices. Vogel has said it.
Just rehearsal.
They're trying to figure things out on the court as a live product. That's the first time I think I've ever seen that this late in the season. But it is what it is. It's the way that the cards were dealt. And right now, they're just not performing the way they should.
Big quote from LeBron.
Uh-oh. What's he saying?
I feel like I'm a better player than last year.
How,
Sway?
That's not good for the league,
How?
bro. That's not good for
How
the
is
league.
he better? he was playing like it. Like it's like the game just slows down for him, and he's just like like I was saying to start the post game, man. He's just on autopilot, and like it's just that play. I watched it, I rewound it a few times, and he just sees the game differently. We just built different, dog. We built different. He said the
Real
same thing over and
talk.
over. Like it's just real talk at this point. So
Speaking
I love
of
to see
built
it.
different, this is great by our boy Darius Soriano, who is a Forum Blue and Gold on Twitter. He said trio of Kuz, Caruso, and THT have played 77 minutes together. In those minutes, the Lakers have an offensive rating of 103.1, defensive of 84.9, with an 18.2 net rating. Now think about that. Kuz, Caruso, and THT in their time together
Homegrown
have
guys.
homegrown. This is what I'm getting ready to say. So you basically have one guy who got picked up, and he kind of was a late draft pick, and then you have two G League players who kind of went through their own little, climbing the ladder type thing, and they have a net rating of 18.2. That lets you know that the Lakers and Pelinka, they have a great way of drafting and developing players, and we
Jesse
have it right now.
Buss.
Jesse Buss, man, can't say enough about. Dude, he didn't leave, right?
The whole scouting department. No.
Okay, just want to make sure. Pay that man whatever he needs. Give him all the money.
Jesse Buss still there.
Train him to take over Virginia after she's done. There's a theory out. New One's Order says that AD is secretly playing trash so Bron can get that MVP.
Nah.
Be like that.
Good one.
Yeah.
But nah.
Woo! Jason Jeter says, Chaz, I can't believe you are even entertaining Deadman now. And now you done got David Portillo all hyped up. Chaz wants to sign Deadman.
Look, Chaz don't want to sign Deadman. Chaz wants y'all to be quiet about Deadman so that way he ain't got to hear about it no more.
No.
That's it. But if Deadman were to come in, how tall is he, by the way?
Dwayne Deadman? I don't know. Let's look it up. Somebody find that out.
Is he really gonna really help us on the inside like that, or is he just like another body like McKinney? Like, what if that's the case? He might be just as big as McKinney is.
He's 7 foot.
All right, bring him in.
7 foot. He has a career of 6-6. His career average.
Bring him in. Bring him in since y'all ain't got no patience.
His salary is $2.8 million, and he's 31 out of Lancaster, California. So he'd be homegrown.
So really quick, I didn't get to see what Reggie Miller said tonight since it was blacked out in my area, being that I'm in LA. If anybody's watching this or knew what Reggie said, go ahead and throw it in the chat for us because he said something about the Reggie Miller, the LeBron James Michael Jordan comparison. Same thing.
Oh man, he kept going on and on about this shirts versus skins thing, and it was driving me nuts. But he was basically trying to drive home the point: who would you rather have, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? And he said, if I'm on the court, I want LeBron. But if I'm just, because he goes, if I'm on the court, I want LeBron to be on the court with me. He's like, if I'm just watching, I'm picking Michael Jordan. The argument made absolutely no sense. He talked himself into a corner he couldn't get out of. And it was very, very weird. Very, very weird. And the more
LeBron don't want to.
Huh?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I said it just made me feel weird. That was a very awkward feeling.
LeBron don't want an All-Star game. He's with Swipe with the Fox on it. I don't even understand why we're having an All-Star game. Says he has zero energy and zero interest in an All-Star game this year. It's a slap in the face after the league said it wasn't going to have one. I don't even know why we're having one. I'll be there physically and not mentally. He was looking forward to a 5-day break in March. Damn.
That hurts. That hurts.
It's all for the love of the money. Yeah, when the biggest players coming out and saying that on the same day that they announced, it was today, right? That they announced about the All-Star game, or was that yesterday? I'm getting all my days mashed up, but on the same day he's shooting it down. Man, between the league has gotten everything they wanted with this, and it's all been money driven. It's all owners driven. So they got the early start, they got the All-Star game, they got 72 game season, they got regular playoffs, they got the TV deals. I mean, it's all in the best interest of the players and the salary cap and the bottom line and the CBA. But at the end of the day, these guys are still humans. At the end of the day, so
Yep.
man, feel for these guys.
Feel for 'em, man. Feel for 'em, man. It's already a crazy season, and we don't know how it's going to affect their mentals going forward, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, this is uncharted territory, and I think everybody has their opinions and feelings about it, but we won't know until we get there. Yeah, he played with Bron, but he'd rather watch Jordan. Yeah, man. Steph Curry says, "Do we take calls? We could technically."
We might start.
Yeah, we might start, man.
But for now, throw it in the chat.
Yeah, throw it in the chat for us right now, man. I'm scared to see if you guys even got on here. 'Cause some of the stuff you guys are saying in here is absolutely crazy. Especially
all they're gonna say is something about Dedmon.
Dog, and whoever's controlling the Showtime Forum account tonight as the hype man, we are gonna fight. Chaz says, "Give me Dwayne Dedmon." Devon and Chaz, co-president of the Dwayne Dedmon Club. You guys can. Unnecessary billboard material. Listen, okay. So with that all being said, man, I want to just talk about what we have coming up because the Lakers right now are sitting still, really pretty much tied with the Clippers in our division. But we have some more games coming up, and this was kind of, I don't want to say a tune-up, but it was. We had a little bit of a break, a 3-day break, being able to come into tonight. But we played Detroit on Saturday, so we're going back to the 2-day schedule. Detroit and then Oklahoma City twice and Memphis. That's the end of our homestand. What do you think our record's going to be with Detroit, Oklahoma City twice, and Memphis?
3-1.
With
in
the
those
loss
4
coming
games?
to? Yep. Who's the loss coming to?
One of the Memphis games.
No, we only have one Memphis game. We have 2 Oklahoma Cities.
Oh, okay. I can't see us losing to OKC at all.
Now, see, last time you said that.
Yeah, but that was a Pistons game, but that was on the road. 4-0 or 3-1. I don't know. 3-1. I'm gonna stick with 3-1. I don't know who the loss is gonna come to. It's going to come through somebody because AD not playing like AD has to, and the bench can't always be how they are tonight. And LeBron, I mean, even though as you've seen he could play great, we could still lose because basketball's a team game. So 3-1 is what I'm gonna go with there.
3-1. Okay. Here's what's crazy. Out of the games that we've played so far this season, there has only been there have only been 2 other players. Okay, I'm gonna quiz you real quick, Chaz, as we end it out. Okay,
quiz me.
Out of all the games that we've played, wins and losses. Okay. LeBron James and Anthony Davis have had a majority of the highest points scored on the team. Okay? Either Bron scored the most points that night or AD scored the most points that night. But 2 other players scored more than Bron and AD. Can you guess who those 2 other players were in all the games that we've played?
Like both of them in the same game?
Nope. 2 separate games. There were 2 games out of the season where Bron or AD were not the highest scorer on our team.
Schroeder.
Yep, that's one. And I'll tell you this: this other person had more points. This other person has more games than Schroeder as the highest scorer. It's wild. It's wild.
KCP?
No.
Kuzma? Yeah, I was gonna say Kuzma.
Kuzma was the highest scorer. Yep, against Minnesota, and then he also was the highest scorer against Detroit when we lost. Obviously, with that 22 points when he came in, AD was out. So, listen, man, I'm only pointing that out to say, as much as we want to point out that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are obviously the highest contributors in most ways, in this team, you really do have options that could end up being your offensive carriers for the night, and what a luxury that is, that one could be a starter or one could be a bench player, and you could still end up with a winning record.
Straight up.
Most
definitely, man. So I can't wait. We got good stuff coming in this next week. We got a homestand. I'm sure You're going to see me on a lot more post games because these games aren't going to be early and I won't be at work. So
They'll be late.
I
Thank you,
can't
Jesus.
wait. I can't wait for next week, and especially to get some easy games to pick up a few wins and get back to that number one seed in the West. So
That's the whole goal, man. Let's get back up there, man. Until then, you want to shout out anything that's going on? I know the podcast just dropped. Justin Stover also just had an article that was posted tonight, but
oh man.
for you.
So me and Chris Camello are recording tomorrow night, so that'll be dropping probably Saturday, talking about the week that was, from courtside Karen to the
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets to to this All-Star game to a bunch of stuff that happened this week, and then previewing the games that we were just discussing coming up on the homestand. And look forward to a lot more post games with you next week. I love Justin Stover's writing. I love having Justin Stover on. So. Props to him, and go get your merch, guys. Adel Del Toro, Can't Beat LA, and Javier on GoTonightGFX.com as well. So get your merch, fire tees. We both rocking them.
Yeah, man.
Head down to 6th and Broadway. Maybe get you a little jewelry, maybe some Cubans.
Hey,
Do your thing.
the truth.
And man, it's been a good night.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get another win.
Lakers win tonight, winning 114-93 over the Nuggets. Didn't look like they were going to win in the first half. They turned it on in the second, and it wasn't even a question. Come the fourth, THT obviously stuck out. LeBron James makes history. AD continues to struggle, but the Lakers continue to win. Third game in a row, winning streak as we head into our next game on Saturday with the Pistons. We will be here. We'll see you again here on the post game. Guys, bring all your questions, and of course, we can't end the night without saying what we always say, Mamba out, but not forgotten. We'll check you guys on the next one.